A lot of us have this misconception that being cheap means we are smart, being cheap means we are saving a lot of money, being cheap means we understand money. I'm here to tell you, being cheap comes out of fear. It has nothing to do with you being smart. It's fear that stops us from spending on the things that we know we should be spending on for a better future. Because when we're being cheap, we avoid spending on things that, again, can improve our lifestyle, and things that can improve our health, and things that can bring a better quality of life. Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is Dolly and I'm so grateful to have you here one more time with me. I know we have a million plus YouTube channels. The fact that you decided to stay with me is so appreciated. And for my returning subscribers, oh my gosh, my heart is so full of joy. Thank you for being here. And if you're new, the reason why I created this channel was because I was giving myself excuses. I was sick of living a life that I wasn't happy, and I decided to finally document my process, and on the process of doing that, maybe help one or two people along the way. With that being said, let's get started. So we're going to be talking about the belief system that has been keeping us broke, keeping us afraid about talking about money, that has been keeping us on a survival mode, that has been keeping us from living our best life possible. This episode was created for anybody out there that thinks being cheap is the way, that feels sick when it comes to spending money for yourself or the things that matter the most. This video is for you. So we're going to break this video in 5 beliefs, and without wasting any time, let's jump to the belief number 1. Okay, a lot of us have this misconception that being cheap means we are smart, being cheap means we are saving a lot of money, being cheap means we understand money. I'm here to tell you, being cheap comes out of fear. It has nothing to do with you being smart. It's fear that stops us from spending on the things that we know we should be spending on for a better future. Because when we're being cheap, we avoid spending on things that, again, can improve our lifestyle, and things that can improve our health, on things that can bring a better quality of life in general. And by doing so, you're literally living on auto mode, because why are you going to work? If the whole reason why we're going to work is to pay our bills and then live cheap, oh my gosh, what kind of life is that? We're not even enjoying life at that moment. Most of us grew up in environments where talking about money was a taboo. You couldn't even say anything. You didn't know how your parents made the money. All you knew was probably that, oh, mom went to work, dad went to work, that's about it. You barely even knew what they were doing, what kind of work they were doing, right? All you cared about was, okay, I have food in my table and I have my school supplies, and when I'm sick, I'm taken care of. But when it comes to talking about money, how to spend it, how to invest it, how to enjoy it, it wasn't something we were taught. So as adults now, we might be struggling, and we might even repeat the same patterns that we grew up with. Because just think about it. A lot of us have been in situations where we say things like, oh my gosh, I'm going to get this salad because it's cheaper. Or I'm going to get this chicken because it's cheaper. And cheaper how? Cheaper $5 difference, maybe $2 difference. Or I'm going to get this pair of shoes because it's $10.99. If a pair of shoes was $10 and another pair of shoes was $50, and you spend the $10 instead of the $50 just because the $10 were cheap, but the $10 will last you for 3 months, guess what's going to happen? 3 months from now, you still have to go and buy another $10. But if you spend the $50 and that $50 stays with you for a year, in the long run, you spend more money being cheap. And the whole reason why you were being cheap, it was because you were trying to save money. So it doesn't even match. So the concept of being cheap is being smart is far from the truth. Now, on this subject of pricing, I just want to clarify something. I'm not talking here about the things that are cheap but good quality, because sometimes a high price tag doesn't necessarily mean quality. I'm here talking about the quality of the item, right? Let's say if you have a regular shoe and a $200 regular shoe, I'm not spending $200 on a regular shoe either, if the quality is on the same level, if that makes sense. I'm talking about the quality of the item, because being smart means investing in the things we know for sure is going to stay with us on the longer run, instead of being cheap and buy things that are just convenient price wise, but then we have to buy that thing several times. And we're going to go to the belief number 2, which would be not investing in our health. Oh my gosh, I don't know what to tell you guys, but this hits very hard on my heart. Okay, we live in a society where we are so caught up on buying cheap food. And disclosure, if you can afford it, you can afford it. Okay, I'm not talking here about someone who has $10 and all they can do is buy a $5 chicken pack of wings with some rice and 2 tomatoes. I'm not talking about that, right? If that's your case, a friend of mine, do whatever is necessary to survive. I'm here talking about some of us that do have the money, but we choose to be cheap just to keep $3 difference, that regardless, we're still gonna go and spend it as something very stupid, that we're gonna get a Timu just because we were scrolling, and those things end up in a drawer in our kitchens without using it. Those are the people I'm talking about here. I'm here to tell you that nothing is as expensive as poor health, because taking care of your body, taking care of your mind, taking care of your health, in the long run, that's an investment. You're investing in yourself. You're investing in having a quality, long life. And that's something that you can't put a price tag on. Unfortunately, you cannot. You can't go around it. Okay? If you don't take care of your body today, the $10 you were trying to avoid from spending today, you're going to spend those $50K tomorrow when you get sick. The whole reason as to why we're doing this is because we're trying to work on ourselves. We're trying to become better. You can become better with a poor health. I've been on grocery stores and I see people with so many things on their shopping cart. The candies, the lemonades, the chips bags, you name it, all kind of junk food. And at the end of the day, you went ahead and you bought your good steak, you bought your potatoes, your onions, you bought your rice, you bought your whatever, real food. And you guys get on the cashiers. Let's say they took 30 things, and those 30 things cost them $130. But you took 15, half, and yours cost $145. If you look at it based on the amount of things, it would seem like you had less stuff and they had more. But let's elaborate this a little bit more. What they got is empty food. They got chips, they got lemonades, sugar, they got candies, and they got whatever. So what happens? They're gonna spend more time eating because whatever they got is not real food. They're gonna get hungry more often than you, that you're gonna combine your fiber, you're gonna combine your protein, and you're gonna combine your carbs. So if you have a good breakfast, let's say you 2 eggs, some scrambled eggs with veggies, and maybe like a piece of bread, maybe like a good grass-fed butter, and someone else breakfast is cereals with milk, pancake with syrup. At the end of the 3 hours, you're still gonna be full, but that person, by 3 hours in, they probably snacked 3 times already. So the same amount of weight they get those massive quantities of food, that's the same way it goes away, because they have to keep eating, because whatever they're eating is not nutritious. It doesn't fill them up. It doesn't take care of their guts. It doesn't take care of their health in general. So the concept of us being cheap, thinking we're saving, we're not really saving. Because again, I'm going to keep repeating this concept. The $10 you think you save today, you're going to have to spend $50K tomorrow. So choose your heart. Being cheap is not you being smart. Invest in yourself, especially when you can afford it. Because guess what? Good nutrition, it brings you health, it brings you less anxiety, less stress. And that, my friend, is not a luxury. That's a necessity. Belief number 3 would be, we are so afraid to talk about money. And going back to what I said earlier, most of the time it's not our fault, because that's how we grew up. Talking about money was just not a subject, period. You couldn't go and be like, Mom, how much do you get paid? It's like, what is it to you? In some cultures, it's like a taboo. People don't want to talk about how much they're making. Now with social media, it's getting better because people are being more bold to share their experiences. And based on that, we're becoming more aware of how much we should be getting paid in certain jobs. American corporate, as a matter of fact, is one of the subjects you can talk about. You can talk about how much you get paid, but why is that? Why can I tell my colleague that I make 50,000 K? Why is that? Going back to the concept. If I know I'm making 50,000 K and my colleague is making 60,000 K, guess what's going to happen? I'm going to demand the raise, right? Because I'm going to know that, that's 10,000 difference. So that means I'm being underpaid. And it brings you awareness. What I'm trying to say here is, get comfortable at talking about money, because you're not getting comfortable. There's a lot of dollars you're leaving behind. If you get in a new position and they come to you with an offer, don't take the first offer. Don't be afraid to demand a negotiation, because it's a transactional negotiation. So they're looking for someone to come and work for them. So this is your chance to negotiate your pay, because most companies, they won't give you what you deserve. If they get Alicia, and Alicia took the first 50K when the job pays 70K. Guess what? They won't go back and be like, no, Alicia, let me tell you, oh, sorry, actually the pay is 70K, here's your extra 20K. It's not gonna happen. Guess what's gonna happen? You come in there, it's like, okay, the job, oh, we want to give you 55K, and you're like, no, that's below my requirement. I need at least 65K. Guess what? They're gonna give you 55K because they still have 5,000 left they can play with. And you're gonna have someone else, as a matter of fact, that's gonna come and it's gonna be like, I want 73K. And if they like you, they're going to give you the 73K. So the point I'm trying to make here is we have to get comfortable at talking about money. We are working here not just to pay our bills, but as a matter of fact, to take care of our family members. And if it's a subject that you feel so awkward, you don't know much, I don't know much about it, but that's why we have social media, okay? Follow the right people though. Follow the right people. But you have social media, you have books about it, you have podcasts about it, educate yourself. That's all I'm saying. Because the thing is, if you don't talk about money, you're never going to learn how it works. You're never going to learn how to multiply. You're never going to learn how to invest on it. You're never going to learn how to use it to have a better quality life. It's that simple, point blank. So you need to learn about money to then use that knowledge to upgrade your life. The next point would be to take actions to earn more money. Let's be brave about taking actions to earn more money. Okay, I'm currently working on it. I'm at a job that can barely pay my living. But that job takes 40 plus hours of my day, of my week. So by the time I come home, not just exhausted, but at the end of the month, I won't have anything to show up to be like, you know what, yeah, I worked so many hours. I'm so excited. Oh my gosh. Here goes the money. Here goes the 2,000 for my rent. Here goes the 1,000 for my extra bills. And oh my gosh, guess what? Oh, I have 3,000 left to play with. Not the case. And it's not the case for most of us here in America. So we need to put on our big pens, okay, and find out what else we can do to earn more money. Because a lot of us are staying in jobs that we're being mistreated, that they're demanding our kidney serial number just for fun. Because as I stated earlier, we're not even going to be able to make enough to cover our basics. Like by the end of the month, you cover some bills here and there, and you still have to swipe credit cards to cover essential bills, essential necessities. But guess what? That's the job that is going to demand that you to stay over, to always be a team player, to always show up when it's needed, to always do extra, because that's how you're exposing yourself for the opportunity to be promoted. We've been told to go to school, to get a degree, to find a job, and work for that company until we get retired, hoping to live based on our 401k and blah, 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 blah. If you're an adult watching me right now, I'm sure you probably find out already that this is just a scam. Most of us go to school, we take a student loan. Let's say it takes us 100k student loan just to end up find a job that pays us the same 100k, which it doesn't happen right away, right? After a couple of years maybe. But let's say best case scenario, the job pays us 100k, but you already have 100k student loan plus the interest, plus guess what? Your rent, your bills, your whatever. The point is, you have the same 100k, the job pays you the same, you owe someone or the government, and that's it. So you're supposed to be doing that for how long? The same 100k they pay you, which is not going to be 100k, it's just 100k in papers. We all know that Uncle Sam has to take part of that 100k, right? We also know that you can get sick. We also know that you can start a family. So part of that 100k, it goes back to the family members, but you still have 100k loan to cover. What am I going with this? I'm trying to say that I believe it's very hard. I don't want to say impossible, because I guess depending on your job, you have people out there that are actually making money. But corporate lifestyle, not everybody makes it, okay? And don't get caught up on the big cars. Don't get caught up on the big mansions. Most people live in big mansions and drive big cars, but they are broke, okay? And with that lifestyle, guess what? You start compromising your family, because you get jobs that you have to over deliver, right? Because you want to make sure that you keep your job, and you're always exhausted. And one thing about companies, they know, everybody knows people are broke, people need money, and they're going to squeeze that juice out of you one way or another. So what am I saying here? I'm saying learn a skill, okay? Work on yourself so that you can have an extra income. Because if you have freedom, if you're financially free, You're gonna get to decide how you spend your time and add quality to your lifestyle. I'm currently working on something that I wish I started sooner, because this 9 to 5, honestly, if it works for you, fine, but I'm getting to the point where I'm like, this is not for everybody. Now, if I was doing a 9 to 5 and you're covering everything that I need to be covered, and maybe give me 10% extra for my, I don't know, maybe I want to travel or whatever, then yeah. But even sometimes the people that are actually making good money on those 9 to 5s, they don't have the freedom to travel or to rest when it's needed, because guess what, they have to over deliver because they are getting paid good money. And the last belief, I believe as I touched upon it a little earlier, would be to stop feeling sick or to stop feeling uncomfortable when we spend money on ourselves. I know if you're someone who grew up in an environment where money was not a thing, if you're someone who has been living in a very tough situation money-wise, and you finally seen some type of cash on your account, you're probably nervous when the amount is reducing, because you're just wired that way, right? I understand that. But a friend of mine, if you've always been broke, but now you're touching some coins, you still have to adjust yourself. Now, I'm not saying to go all and above, right? Like just blow the money. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm trying to say here is sometimes treat yourself. Be like, oh my gosh, I've come a long way. Or I used to barely have to pay my rent. Now at the end of the month, I have 3-4 times my rent and I can live comfortably. It's okay if you want to go ahead and buy those flowers for yourself and enjoy a quality life. It's okay to go and buy that bag that you always wanted. Buy it, because saving money is good, investing money is good, but living today is better. There's no point of you saving for tomorrow. You don't even know if you're going to make it 5 hours from now. You see what I'm saying? Stop being frugal if you don't need to be. A lot of us have those concepts that, oh my gosh, only if I can have $1 million, my life will change. Or if I make $5 million, my life will change. Or I can't wait to be rich. For what? Have you asked yourself those questions? Why do you want to be rich? Why do you need $5 million in your account? Why do you need $1 million? What's going to happen when you have 10,000? Let me know. What's going to happen? What do you think is going to change? Are you going to automatically wake up, oh my gosh, I have $10,000 in my account. Ooh, from now on, I'm blue. It doesn't work like that. It's the mindset. So it's okay to be safe, to try to be safe and always have a safety net just in case something happens. But stop being frugal. Stop being cheap to yourself. There is no reason for you to be working non-stop to make all that money and you living like someone who barely makes a dime. That's disrespectful to yourself. There was a picture a couple of months ago about, if I find it, I'm going to put it on the screen. That couple, 2 old people that I believe they went to, I believe that was Italy, on a boat or something, and they were just knocked out. Beautiful environment, beautiful experience, but they waited to the last minute, to their retirement, to start enjoying life. But at that point, which life are you enjoying? When it's bedtime by 6 p.m., which life are we enjoying? So let's get comfortable at treating ourselves. You don't have a mansion. We don't need a mansion to live in a beautiful environment. Your apartment is your mansion. Take care of your apartment like that's your mansion. Get to the habit of treating your current situation as a luxury, so that when you finally get to that luxury stage, oh my gosh, by then I've been doing this for the longest. And with that being said, my friends, this is how you stay broke. By being cheap, by being afraid to talk about money, by being afraid to step up and learn a new skill so that you can earn more money, by not taking care of your health. That's how you stay broke. Because being broke is not so much about how much you have on your bank account. It's about the mindset. You can have $1 million in your bank account and still being broke if your mindset is not in the right place. You can have $10,000 in your bank account and be rich based on your mindset. With that being said, friend, we don't have to hustle endlessly. Learn how to invest what needs to be invested. Learn how to take care of ourselves with proud. Be grateful where we are. And most importantly, always have a plan. Having a plan in place, that's all we need. So that if things go south, guess what? We already had a plan for that. I want to hear from you. Which beliefs are you going to be learning? Let us know down below. Thank you so much for your support. Bye.